Hi guys, I just want to go back to this wonderful book called Living, Loving and Learning by Buscaglia. If you get a chance, it's an older book, but if you get a chance, maybe you could find it on thrift books or any used bookstore, but I will be reading some excerpts from it. And please comment below if you would like me to continue reading some excerpts from this particular book. Excerpts. This wonderful teacher, professor, he was America's most beloved teacher, author, lecturer at universities. He was Italian. I do have a lot of his cassettes because I used to listen to him in the car. And if any of you would like to hear his voice, he has a very happy voice. He sort of shouts at you a little bit, just like Italians do, but in a loving way. He's funny. He's all about living, loving, and learning. That's what this book is about. This book has different lectures from different places that he had visited. So this next one I'm choosing is called Choose Life. So I really hope I can reach out to people who are struggling and maybe choose life. Okay, so I'm going to read what he thinks about choosing life. And I agree with him 100%. Again, this is Living, Loving, and Learning, Leo Buscaglia, PhD. That is a picture of him on front. He was all about hugs and loving people. So this particular chapter, or a different excerpt, is called Choose Life. So I will say choose life always. Always choose life. Sometimes the nights are dark, but when the sun shines, it's lighter outside, and things will be lighter for you. So let's read a couple of his excerpts. To me, the greatest thing we have is life. And where there is life, as the old adage goes, there is hope. So maybe we could get into choosing life. It won't be as difficult as we can imagine. And yet there are so many who don't choose it. Not long ago, one of my students came into the university. He was really despondent. He said, "You and your ideas about life, you make me sick. You say choose life? Why the hell should I? Life chose me. I didn't ask to be born. I was made to come on this earth, and if I don't choose to live it, I don't see why it's my responsibility to choose it." Thousands of people go to mental hospitals every year and relinquish their lives to doctors and therapists. Other people give it up and say, "You live my life for me," instead of taking this incredible gift and living it fully. I don't know whether you're aware of it, but there's a growing phenomenon called battered child syndrome, where we're beating up our children so miserably you can't imagine. Just recently in Los Angeles, a little girl had her eyes gouged. Things that are almost unbelievable. Then there's another sickness arising that to me is almost incomprehensible, and that is we are battering the aging. We're beating up old people. Children are beating their Asian mothers and fathers. An interview was done of people 65 and over, thousands of them, and only 20% of those people said they were happy. The rest call themselves victims. Is that where we're headed? Is that the point of life, to live on to the point where we're going to be victimized in the end? There are plenty of people going around talking about death and despair and misery. If you want that, you can get it everywhere. Read your paper, turn on your TV sets. Or you can choose to say life is good. Life is beautiful. Let's celebrate it. Have you ever thought about going to see what the dictionary says about a word like that? I'm going to read you what I found because it's glorious. Life is the equality which distinguishes a vital and functioning being from a dead one. Now, isn't that glorious? But it's not a lot of help, is it? There's another one, and I love this one. It says, the period of usefulness of something. I thought, if usefulness is the determinant of our being alive or dead, there are an awful lot of dead people running around the place. The one I love the best is the third definition, to pass through and spend the duration. You know, most of us are really passing through and spending the duration. Not very many of us are really, in the real sense of the word, alive and living fully. The thing is, I'm certain that as long as you leave your life in the hands of other people, you'll never live. You can't live your life in other people's hands. You have to live your life. You have to take responsibility for choosing and defining your own life. I really believe most people are afraid of life. I don't know why it is. We're afraid to be what we are. We get marvelous, insane feelings and we don't act on them. You see someone really attractive and you think, I'm going to tell her she's really beautiful. And then you think, oh, I couldn't do that. And then she goes all of her life not knowing she's beautiful. It's a shame because if we really don't live fully, we keep others from living fully. We're afraid of living life. Therefore, we don't experience, we don't see, we don't feel, we don't risk, we don't care. And therefore, we don't live because life means being actively involved. Life means getting your hands dirty. Life means jumping in the middle of it all. Life means falling flat on your face. Life means going beyond yourself into the stars. But you must decide that for yourself. What does life mean to me? I'm convinced if we spent as much time, no, 1/4 as much each day thinking about life and living and loving as we do planning a meal, we'd be incredible. But life is always a way of solving this problem. It's always very fascinating to me because when life is not being lived, it explodes in us. It's like trying to hold the lid on when the steam is ready to blow. Something will happen. I'm convinced of it. You either turn to extremes of fear, pain, loneliness, paranoia, or apathy. All signs that you are not alive. You are not living. So if you're feeling any of these things, roll up your sleeves and say, let me live. The minute you start getting involved in life, the steam lets off and you're safe. It isn't easy, but life lets us know that it must be led. How wonderful. So certainly there are external forces, but what really matters is how you personally respond to those external forces. You can bring joy to despair. Believe it. Try it next time. There's one thing I'm certain of. Misery loves company. Not only does it love it, it demands it. The miserable you want to be miserable to. Boy, they're going to work at it, I tell you. Don't you dare be happy, or they're not going to get me there. They might like company, and I'll be their company, but I'll be their joyous company, not their miserable company. In order to do these things, we got a lot of choices to make. One of the major choices is choose you. Choose you. Stop hating yourself. Stop running yourself down. Put your arms around yourself and say, you know, you're all right. You might be losing your hair, but you're all I've got. When you make peace with your weakness, you've made it. They're not that big, they're just a small part of you. You got to choose yourself. I'm sure the people who take their lives, don't live, are basically those who have no feeling of self-respect. I don't know when the last time was that somebody actually told you this, but I want to stress it. You are a miracle. I'm always odd, all different faces, also wondrous, also beautiful. Eyes different, nose is different, mouth's different. So different are you that you can be identified by your fingerprints. If that doesn't tell you how unique you are. Why were you made so unique? So that you could become like everybody else? I don't think so. I don't think that was God's intention. I think you're made unique because you have some unique statement to make. Dedicate your life to finding out what that statement is. Develop that statement and share it with me. Because in the process of sharing it with me, we will both become more. You have responsibility and a duty to become all that you are. When you lose you, there is nothing left. Maintain your dignity. Maintain your integrity. Nobody can put you down except you. They may see you differently, but you know who you are, and you be that something, and with pride. I am I. Remember Medea's statement at the end of that beautiful play where they say, Medea, what is left? She says, what is left? There's me. That's a beautiful thing because you are so much. Each of us is a history. Isn't that amazing? We've done study after study in one household with the same mother, same father. One child can become a saint, the other can become a demon. Why? Doesn't that say something about the specialness of you and the way you perceive things? All of you came tonight with a different world in mind. All of you came with a different history. Some of you had parents who were wonderful and loving and tender and kind. Others of you had abusive parents who tried but failed. Others had histories that were incomplete with great gaps. Others had full and exciting histories, but you all came here tonight. That is another big why. How come? What commonality do we all have that brought us together tonight? I don't know, but I'm sure it's there. There's something. I like to think about it as magic. And what a wonder. Think about that. You brought your special history, and you also have an emotional history that is uniquely yours. Some of you, right at this moment, are very lonely and in despair. Some of you, right at this moment, are very confused. Some of you are bitter. Some of you are joyous. Some of you are ecstatic. Some of you are bringing all kinds of wondrous vibrations. All of them are valid. All of them are good. All of them are beautiful. Embrace them all. They're all part of you. The mystery is that they brought us together. Let's not ask why.